Imagine waking up in April 2026 and realizing you owe the bank more than the value of the house you are living in. This is not a horror movie scenario, but the reality for millions of mortgage prisoners as 1.8 million low-interest loan contracts officially expire, sending them free-falling down a financial cliff. With a GDP forecast of just 0.8%, the UK is not simply in recession. It is facing something far more complex: geopolitical stagflation. When Brent crude oil prices surge past $100 and AI begins wiping out up to 8% of knowledge-based jobs within a single year, a harsh truth emerges. What we believed to be prosperity over the past decade may have been little more than an illusion built on debt. Are you ready to lose 30% of your asset value overnight? Let's uncover the reality behind what could become one of the most severe economic downturns in modern history, and why almost no one is truly prepared. Look at this number: 0.8%. That is the projected GDP growth. In medical terms, that's close to a clinical flatline. While the United States continues growing above 2%, the UK economy appears trapped in a room without oxygen. Earlier expectations of 1.3% growth have now been shattered. Experts call this geopolitical stagflation. In simple terms, your income shrinks while the cost of living keeps rising. Normally, when economies slow down, prices fall to stimulate demand. But in 2026, that rule no longer applies. Why? Look to the Middle East. Tensions involving the US and Iran have turned the Strait of Hormuz into a critical bottleneck. As a result, oil prices have surged. This isn't just a number on a trading screen, it directly impacts fuel costs, heating bills, and everyday expenses. What once looked like a light at the end of the tunnel now resembles the headlights of a train speeding toward us. Back then, borrowing below 2% felt normal. Now, rates of 4% to 5% are becoming the new reality. For many, this isn't just a number, it's hundreds of pounds disappearing from monthly income. Some experts are calling it an unannounced housing tax. The term mortgage prisoner is becoming increasingly common. This describes homeowners trapped in properties that are losing value while their debt remains unchanged. In some areas, house prices could drop by 10% to 20%, leaving people owing more than their homes are worth. Selling isn't an option. Moving isn't an option. You are locked in. Even more concerning is the rise of climate mortgage prisoners. Hundreds of thousands of homes now face difficulty securing affordable insurance due to flood risks. Without insurance, lenders can push borrowers onto higher variable rates, sometimes reaching 7%. That's an additional financial burden of thousands of pounds per year. Younger workers face an equally harsh reality. Youth unemployment is rising sharply, as companies increasingly rely on automation instead of hiring entry-level staff. Degrees that once guaranteed opportunity are losing their value. It begins to feel like running on a treadmill, working harder but falling behind. At the same time, the institutions meant to support society are also under strain. City councils across the UK are facing severe financial pressure. Many are relying on what's called exceptional financial support, essentially borrowing to survive. But these loans come with higher interest rates, adding to long-term debt burdens. Hundreds of councils are now in this position, collectively owing billions. To compensate, council taxes are rising sharply. In some areas, increases are reaching record levels, while public services are being cut. Libraries close. Street lighting is reduced. Waste collection slows. Support services shrink. The housing market, once a pillar of economic strength, is turning into a heavy anchor dragging everything down. And when people feel trapped in their homes, they cling to their jobs. But even that safety net is beginning to unravel. By 2026, job losses are not only driven by economic slowdown but also by rapid advances in artificial intelligence. For the first time, job destruction is outpacing job creation, with a net decline of up to 8%. This isn't about factory automation anymore. This shift targets white-collar professionals, accountants, lawyers, analysts, roles once considered secure. Companies are already making moves. Thousands of positions are being replaced by AI systems that don't sleep, don't demand raises, and don't make errors at the same rate as humans. For workers aged 40 to 50, this creates a crisis of forced skill obsolescence. Competing with rapidly evolving technology while navigating a recession is an immense challenge. It is a structural reset. The system itself is being reshaped, and the effects could last for years, even decades. The illusion of easy growth driven by cheap debt is fading. What remains is a more difficult, more uncertain reality. For many households, difficult choices are becoming unavoidable. Rising costs, shrinking incomes, and reduced support systems are redefining everyday life. This is not about panic, it's about awareness. The question is no longer whether change is coming. It's whether you are prepared for it. Because this storm will not wait. It demands adaptation, in how we manage money, how we view assets, and how we prepare for the future. The structures we once relied on may no longer provide the same security. So what remains? Your resilience. Your adaptability. Your ability to respond before it's too late. If the foundations of prosperity shift overnight, what will you rely on? Will you remain trapped by circumstances, or will you take control and adjust before the full impact arrives? The world is changing, and it's happening faster than most people expect. The only question left is, are you ready?